Tums or Gums, right? So it's Zum Zum. It's not Zoom Zoom. I am not a Mazda commercial. Okay? So when I was first asked to talk about my experiences as a Muslim American, it was kind of hard to come to terms as to where I would start, since my embodied experience is continuing. So what I decided to do instead is to write a letter. So this is a letter to America. Dear America, I remember when I arrived, I was 5 years old. I had just gotten off of a plane that was 2 days long with my mom, my dad, and my little siblings. We had an hour delay at the New York Immigration Office, and I was exhausted and smelly, but I was excited. You see, we have a joke in our family. We call ourselves the Dusty Foot Philosophers because we had essentially traveled in almost every country that existed in the continent of Africa, and that was because our country was having a civil war. But my dad promised me that this was it, that we wouldn't have to move again, that America was our home. So we took our 4 bags of luggage, which equated to all of our wealth, but which, by the way, isn't very much, but Dad said, that's okay. We have faith, and we had hope. We ended up settling in Texas, which was a unique country, because it's not a state, it's a country, right? I learned and I became as Americanized as the kids. I started saying howdy y'all all the time. Right? To my Muslim friends, I would say assalamu alaikum y'all. So life was good. Life was good. Because you were my home. It wasn't until September 11th that things changed. I was in high school history class, and my teacher had stopped her lecture to turn on the TV. And in that class, among my 24 other classmates, we saw the second plane hit the building. And we were shocked. We were in fear and mourning. I remember going home early because the school had let us out, and sitting with my parents and watching the news. I remember hearing the news saying it was Muslims who had done it. I turned to my dad and said, well, Dad, why would Muslims do something like this? My dad turned to me and said, Zamzam, that's not what Muslims do. That's not Islam. That is hate. Don't forget, we have faith and we have hope. So let's pray. See, America, if you opened up our holy book, you would realize that each chapter, each surah opened up with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. You see, if you looked into our Quran, you would notice that it only mentions war 36 times, it mentions peace 67 times, and it mentions mercy 202 times. You see, our very greetings to each other, when we say assalamu alaikum to each other, we are simply saying, peace be upon you. Islam is not a religion of hate. It's a religion of peace. As I got older, some years were better than others. But recently, I've noticed you've been struggling, that your people have been suffering. I read recently in the Southern Poverty Law Center that there were 917 hate groups registered on your land. Groups that hold beliefs and practices that attack and malign a large number and class of people. And I'm confused. You see, I know how easy it is to be angry and frustrated, but to hate? What happens after we hate? What is left after we hate? Nothing. So, how do we combat hate then? Well, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said it best in his 1963 speech called Strength of Love. He said, darkness cannot cannot drive out hate. But love can do that. So hold up your head high, America. And as my father says, have faith and have hope. Hope in your people. Hope in your vision. Hope in your home. That your home will be filled with love. Sincerely, your Dusty Philosopher.